But let's begin in Austin and the disappointment from many Texas Democrats. They're upset at three of their colleagues from Houston. Three Democrats that decided to return to the Capitol a few days ago and restore quorum in the State House after a 38-day walkout. It had to happen sometime, but their return caught many of their Democratic colleagues by surprise, including State Rep Jasmine Crocket from Dallas.
To say that I'm disappointed would be putting it lightly. To say that I am truly sorry to all Texans, especially so many of my constituents, as well as so many just other people in this country that were believing in us. The fact that literally they folded and we're right there, we're almost there. We're not there yet, but we know that there's federal legislation that they're working on. They're working right now. They're going to take a vote next week. There was no reason to go and do this to the children in the state of Texas, to their parents.
So a day or so before that story broke, we did set up an interview with Representative Crocket to talk about a number of things. She is one of the most outspoken new Democrats in the legislature. And we talked to her about Governor Abbott's COVID diagnosis and the Democratic candidate that she wants to see run for governor. Crocket represents District 100. That's a wide swath of southern Dallas County. Representative Crocket, last month we saw some Texas House Democrats get COVID when they were in D.C. Republicans, of course, criticized them for not wearing masks. And now here we are with Governor Abbott testing positive for COVID. He, too, in many situations we have seen, was not wearing masks. What's your reaction?
You know, I think that it's the hypocrisy that we see in the Texas Ledge. Sadly enough, it's playing out on national display. At the time that my colleagues did contract COVID-19, they were following CDC guidelines, which said that persons that are vaccinated could be around one another without masks. That was before the rise of Delta. Once my colleagues actually contracted COVID, we decided to shift gears completely, and we decided to start masking up and testing every single day, even though at that point, that wasn't the recommendation of CDC. They then started to realize that there were these breakthrough cases, and I'm thinking, duh, we're seeing it play out because they're all vaccinated. And so there's new guidance. So once the new guidance came out, I don't understand why anyone would avoid that, but that's what they're doing on the House floor. That's why we've seen a number of Republicans that have actually tested positive for COVID-19 on the House floor. They're still refusing to wear masks. So not only is there so much legislation that's really bad for our constituency on the House floor waiting for us, seemingly there's COVID on the floor waiting for us. And so Governor Abbott and our other Republican colleagues that refuse to just follow the experts and guidance and science, I think that they're doing more harm than good, not only to their constituency that trusts them and believes in what they say, but they're obviously doing harm to themselves as well as potentially to their families.
Here's the last question for you. At least three Republicans, as we've reported, are running against Governor Abbott. But here we are closing in on Labor Day. Not a single Democrat has announced a run yet. Two questions. Why not? And who would you like to see run?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I'm a anybody but Abbott girl right now. So I don't care if it's Daffy Duck. But no, I think that we are seeing some of the terrible policies coming out of our governor because he does have a mounting Republican primary. I personally think that we're running short on time. And I think that there's only one person who actually could get up and get a statewide campaign going. You mentioned the timeline, and for the viewers, what that means is that it's almost impossible to get your name ID as well as your machine going in the entire state to actually be able to mount a challenge. I think there's only one person that can mount a challenge, and I think that's Beto O'Rourke. All
right, Representative Crocket, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over the last few